Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This week got another episode of the FRC Legendary Lap Analysis that I'm going to be doing. Today we're going to be going through Rebel Racing Laige's lap and pitching him alongside Williams Rich. Williams' newest recruit, a good friend of mine as well as Laige's, and it's going to be really interesting to compare their different styles, how they get on around Sebring, because Sebring is such a deceptively difficult track. It's obviously quite a long track. This is a difficult car as well. It's a really strange way that you have to drive this car to make it quick, especially around this circuit. Sebring is, like I said, deceptively fast. It's not a track where, you know, one of the corners flows into another like in the first section of Suzuka. You think it's going to be easy because you can break those sections down into little mini sections. You know, you can concentrate on the first corner, you can concentrate on the next two corners, then you've got the hairpin. You know, you've got a lot of time to think about what you're doing at this circuit, and actually for a hot lap you'd think that makes it easier, but it's very difficult to fall out of your rhythm and start concentrating on things which you shouldn't be. As you can see, Laige 209.8, it is an unreal lap. And Rich, although in time he's far behind, is in 4th place. So let's take a look at Rich's lap to start with as we arrive at the Sebring International Raceway. Coming across the line then, got the telemetry up for you guys to see the throttle inputs, what gear we're taking things in. You say 3rd gear for the first corner, you can go over that yellow line. You used to be able to go all the way up to the wall on the inside. You can't do that anymore. New track, I say new track regulations, the track regulations. It doesn't cut the curb on the inside of the second corner, but does on the 3rd little kink. Get the car as straight as possible. The curb actually helps Rich to grab the front end of the car round on that left hander there. Full throttle all the way, obviously thinking about your braking point for this hairpin, this right hand hairpin, right just before those cones. I think it works out to be about a 400 metre board. Into second, short shifting into 3rd, taking a lot of grass on the left hand side of the track. And again, we've gone through another one of those little mini sections with flat out through these sort of kinked straights. Again, trying to pick that braking point. Are we on the 400 metre board? Roughly, not that there's a board there, which is pretty funny. Again, a little second gear, short shift into 3rd, and then we've got a lift through this left hander. It's a tiny lift, and we actually end up going up very far over to the right hand side, clipping that curve, which really pushes you out wide. Sets Rich up pretty nicely for this right hander, which is notoriously difficult. It doesn't matter if you cut the grass or take the grass on the outside too much, but in this car especially. A little bit of a lift around this left hander just to keep the nose in, tucked in, so we can get the outside line for the braking with this right hander. Take as much curve as you can on the inside, or over the curve really. And again, widen the entrance into this right hander onto the back straight to maximise this run down here. And this is where the pressure mounts on. People, and I'm the same, I think about where I'm going to brake for this final corner and invariably screw it up. So, you know, kudos to these guys setting these lap times, braking just on the 300 metre board there. And, you know, very cautious through the last one. You've got to wait so long on this car to get on the power. Rich is doing this in 3rd gear. Now, remember that for when we look at Laige's lap. And across the line in a 210.3. Pretty tidy lap, I'd say. A couple of mistakes where we sort of clipped curves and went wide, but just wanted to show you this little analysis here. Look what gear Laige is in the red car, and I've got Rich's telemetry on the right hand side. Rich is not changing up until 6th, until 150 miles an hour. Laige is always almost 3 miles an hour ahead by the time we get to this point. Just something to bear in mind. Again, Rich taking this first corner in 3rd gear, Laige leaving it in 4th, using the torque of the car to power out. The car produces a lot of power low down, and it's got a lot of torque, so we can use that to our advantage. Again, Laige not clipping that curve on the left hand side, which I'm surprised. It actually takes a very narrow line into this left hander, uses that curve on the left hand side, just almost like a little divot to dip the front wheel into to bring it round, which is super interesting. And I love watching Laige do that because he does it a lot in these difficult to drive, you know, patient cars. Braking at the same point of Rich there, down into 2nd gear. Again, taking a straighter exit, but short shifting on that grass on the left hand side into 3rd. And all the way down this straight, just keeping it cool, keeping it smooth through these kinks, and we're going to be picking our braking point here. Laige, I'm sure, brakes slightly early. We'll go through an analysis side by side on it earlier, but keeping it in third there. I'm sure Rich took that in second, and then short shifting into fourth, using the time where he was off throttle to shift into fourth, so he didn't lose any speed, or well, any speed when he changed his gear that he would have if he kept it in third there. Again, bit of short shift into fourth, changing off about 7.5k in this car. Flat out on this first section, but again, a little bit of a lift, but this time he doesn't lift off fully, only to 50% of throttle, another difference to what Rich was doing, which is super interesting. Really fine-tuning this car. Again, going out wide to maximise the run onto this back straight, using a lot of curb on the inside. Really, really good line from Laige there. And again, we're in this pressure cooker moment where we're trying to pick our braking point into the final corner. We've got to wait, we've got to wait, we've got to wait. Now we're going to brake. That's the 200-metre mark, sorry. I think Laige just hit the brakes a little bit earlier, but a little bit smoother. Keeping it in fourth gear, which is different to Rich, who's doing this in third. Using that torque and the power, again, a lot of low down power in this car, and across the line in that 2:09 time. So let's pitch them side by side then. We've got it paused using the road markings here. Remember the different gears that Laige and Rich are taking. You know, Laige already in 6th gear by this point. As we go over the line, Rich only changing up to 5th as we go under the bridge. Again, that 3rd, 4th gear, Rich tending to take the corners in a lower gear, so 3rd versus 4th for Laige, and that may enable him to get that bite, that initial power out of the corners. But Laige is all about momentum, and it's like a train. If you keep it in a higher gear, then you know it's really, really key down the next straight. Laige with that tight line around the left-hander. Super interesting that he's able to get a good run on this straight, even from that tight line where Rich pulls out to the right-hand side of the track, which is the more traditional line, I guess. And you can see Laige already ahead by a smidgen as we go into this hairpin. Laige taking in a wider entry and cutting back sharper as we go over the second half of that hairpin. And you can see he's already built out a little bit of a line. We're going to use the magic of editing here to stop Laige as he's in that shadow. Rich is not even, you know, touching the shadow yet. So let's bring them back. Let's reset the lap halfway through, or just a minute or so through the lap, and let's see how the second half of this unfolds. Remember, Laige braking earlier, taking things in higher gears, and you know, super interesting. Also taking a shallower line there, but he's able to cut back more in that second phase of the corner, using that time off throttle to shift up for Laige, whereas Rich keeps it in 3rd gear, which shifts him out wide. Both of them sliding a little bit and very close to that death curve on the outside, gaining that wide entry into this right-hander. Both of them using a little bit more gas on the outside, Laige using more than Rich, and we're into this fast section, which is so tough. Laige with that 50% off throttle, which allows the nose still to dip and grip, but not quite as much as Rich did, and he keeps that momentum. Just these little tiny things, again taking more curb at a later time on the apex of that penultimate corner, enabling Laige to get a better run. And we can see, using the road markings, that Laige again has pulled out a couple of tenths on Rich on this second half of the lap. This isn't that Rich's lap is bad at all. I just, you know, I want to make that absolutely abundantly clear as Laige takes that tighter line in a higher gear and manages to still get the drive out the corner. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I want to make that abundantly clear. Rich's lap is not bad by any stretch, and across the line you can see the difference. Even just in that second half of the lap, we've got, you know, a couple of car lengths in between the two guys. To put it into perspective, Laige's lap is unbelievable, guys. You know, this is something, you know, really, really special that we're watching here today. So let's go through it again. No pausing or anything like that, and just soak in what Laige and Rich are doing here. And I want to look out for Laige braking earlier, but not quite as hard as Rich. Rich is notoriously good on the brakes, but Laige is smoother. He doesn't slow the car down quite as heavily, which I think enables him to get that initial turn in into the corners. So it enables him to go wider and then cut back at a sharper line, getting those crucial tenths down the next straight, and that's where he gains his time. Look at this hairpin. Laige cuts back in, he's taking a tighter line on the exit, and therefore he's able to get on the power, not earlier, but harder earlier. So Rich is smoother on the power, but taking a tighter line, so actually he can't get to full power as quickly.
Laige braking much earlier than Rich there. Remember keeping it in that higher gear, and Rich keeps this in third. And watch Rich's car here. Because he keeps it in third, he just taps that curb on the inside and it throws him all the way out right. And he's compromised, and I think he loses an awful lot of time through this section because he's sliding and trying to compensate for that wider line. It doesn't set him up quite as well for this corner. As you see, he loses a lot of time there. I think that's the main area for me where Rich uses his time, which is a shame. Because I think if he got that section, you know, as good as Laige, he'd only be a tenth or two behind, and then, you know, possibly into the 209s with him. You know, Rich is definitely no slouch when it comes to this sort of time trial. Again, into the pressure cooker, we can see where the guys brake, but I think Laige just slightly early in the brakes, and again, more patient going through this final corner, riding the bumps nicely, keeping it in fourth gear where Rich drops down to third gear. Slightly earlier turn in for Laige, taking that tighter line on the power, harder but in a higher gear, so it doesn't affect the car as much, and across the line, and we know the times. There's some, I'm going to let you guys run through the laps in first person now, but I'm going to leave the commentary there. I just want you to soak in. The first one I'm going to watch here is Rich 92's laps. I know a lot of you guys run in this view, and I had good reception from last night's video for putting it in this first person view, but I just want you to roll through and soak up the content here, because you know, this is a super good lap. Laige's lap is unbelievable, but real kudos to Rich for putting in a really good performance in this week's analysis. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Like I said, I'm going to leave it here, but if you did enjoy that, then please do subscribe to the channel. It really does help grow the channel. You know, the next milestone, I think, for me is going to be 600 subs in a couple of, well, about a month's time if we carry on at this rate, which is so good and keeps motivating me to put out these videos, which I hope you're enjoying. And if you are, obviously, you know, click that like button as well. There's a little bell icon by the subscribe button as well, which helps you to get notified every time I'm, you know, uploading a video, going on a live stream, which we're doing every Tuesday and Sunday nights at the minute for the Tourer GTCC and the DOR Superman's League, which is super competitive. There's only 5 points in the championship for that one at the minute, which is really good to see. I'm driving a sort of 230 brake Mini. The next track up for that is Suzuka on Sunday, so make sure you check that out. As I said, leave it here. Make sure you like and subscribe if you did like the video, and share it amongst your friends. It really does motivate me to put out more of these videos. See you guys later.